Welcome to Lay in the Wood. I'm JT the Brick. That's the Hall of Famer, Rod Woodson. And we got to get Rod out of here a little bit later. He's heading to Dublin for the international game. I know you're excited about the trip.
It's going to be fun. Always great to go over to Dublin, man. And I get to go to one of my spots I haven't gone to yet, the Guinness factory.
Wow.
So I get to go see that and see how it's all made. And I'm not a real beer drinker, but the first time I had a Guinness over there, I was like, you know what? It's not bad.
That would probably be the best Guinness in the world right there.
It was pretty good.
All right. Hey, there's a lot to get to here. Unfortunately, with injuries, we got a whole bunch we got to go down with. Let's start with Joe Burrow. Looks like he's gone for the regular season. They're going to try to get as much out of Jake Browning as they can. Any chance for a trade or anything along the way here, or you got to go with your backup quarterback?
Who are you going to trade for?
Like Russell Wilson, Derek Carr.
Okay,
I got a lot of them right here.
I mean, nobody's trading for Russell Wilson. That's too much money. So nobody's doing that. You know, Derek Carr, if he comes back, you know, would he want to play for a team like Cincinnati? It's a lot of questions. I just thought Brown would play better. Mm-hmm. Really did. I think everybody thought he would play like that. And not having Joe Burrow now for the rest of the year, you really have to pause and rethink, like, where are we going to go with this? Who's on our practice squad? Who's my backup? And what's my depth at my quarterback position? Because if this thing keeps going sideways, it's not going to be a great look for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, I'm going to go with this. I think that everybody gets hurt. You got injured. Guys get injured. Yeah. I'm hoping this is a one-time thing because Burrow's still young. He's an elite quarterback. He's not good. He's elite. Just this season's gone. I hope he comes back better than ever.
Me too. Now the problem I have, you have a quarterback that good, your offensive line has to improve. He's been getting hit for years, and he's a tough, gritty dude.
Yeah.
And he has some elite receivers. They got a pretty good running back. They got a pretty good tight end. They got the pieces to the puzzle. You got to protect him. You got to make sure whatever it is cost you, you have to protect him and protect his blind side.
If you were a coach in this league, if you were going up to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, would you have to tell them, hey, calm down in the media. This thing's going sideways. We need your leadership. You don't have Joe. Their numbers are going down dramatically, but they were both paid.
They got a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they should be leaders.
Yeah.
And now, just because you got paid doesn't mean you're a leader either. The leader was Joe Burrow. With that being said, they have to understand T. Higgins and Chase, the backup quarterback, he's not Joe Burrow.
No.
There's not that many players in the world who can play like him. So I know you want the ball. I know you want it down the field. I know you want the big plays. But you don't have Joe Burrow. So slow down and say, hey, listen, at the end of the day, let's help him the best we can while Joe is out. And then once Joe comes back next year, we got to pick it back up.
You were there for Monday Night Football. The Ravens lost. They're now 1-2. Lamar getting sacked 7 times is fascinating to me because he's going to get sacked because he's extending the plays. But they put up a stat on the amount of balls he doesn't throw away. I kind of like when he tries to make a play. But is this becoming a trend with him that he's got to get rid of the ball and throw it away a few times?
This is what has to happen. So the game plan was given to everybody from the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns stacked the box. They played man-to-man, and they got pressure on Lamar. They won the game, talking about the Baltimore Ravens. This past week, the Detroit Lions did the exact same thing. And they played well all the way up through the first part of the fourth quarter. And Detroit took over.
Yeah.
Detroit got that pressure, and then once they got the pressure, you look down the field. If they're showing and act like guys are coming, you should have some type of check inside of the system where you have a out route or a read where you can get out of it. Or you bring somebody out, you swing a guy out and try to do a quick screen and try to get behind him. But there has to be something where Lamar has an out to get out of it. He can't always hold on to the ball. And at the beginning of the fourth quarter, a little bit longer routes, when they were really doing a great job of nickel and diming the defense all the way down the field, for the Detroit Lions, and then somewhere along the fourth quarter, they got away from it.
As a fan, am I seeing the fact that he's always throwing the deep ball? Because every time I see him, it's get outside, get outside, get outside, wait, wait, wait. Boom, a big pass here. Should he be checking down more there? Is he looking for the check down?
If you go back and watch the first couple games, he didn't throw a lot of deep balls, a lot of intermediate balls. And even against Detroit, the first 2 quarters, he had a couple shots down the field, but it was Mark Andrews, 10 yards. Bateman for 5. Hill for 3. They were nickel and diming them all the way down the field, and then they kind of got away from it a little bit. And that's my thing with them. They're so talented. The team is so good. Even when they played their not great football, they still had opportunities to win the football game. They just have to make sure, listen, you're going against Kansas City this week. You're both 1-2. Whoever loses that game is 1-3. That really puts you in a bad spot, either Kansas City or Baltimore, trying to make the postseason. So they have to go out there, and Spags has only lost 1 time to Lamar. And what is he going to do? He's going to stack the box, and Spags is going to bring pressure. That's what he does. So Lamar and that Ravens offense has to be ready for that.
Well, mark the tape, as we like to say in radio, because one of these teams are going to lose and be 1-3, and I'll guarantee you who's ever 1-3 is making the playoffs, because there's 6 teams in the AFC with a winning record. So these guys are going to claw back. I don't know who's going to win the game, but it'll be interesting. I love this topic. I'm fascinated on Jaxson Dart. Here's why. Brian Daboll's getting fired. It could be next week. It could be 2 weeks. The only way he keeps his job is if he puts in Dart, then goes to Mr. Mara, says, Mr. Mara, we brought him in here. We want to keep him. We're developing him, and he's playing great. Or Mr. Mara is going to go, I don't want you guys touching him. I don't want you in this guy's head. We're going to fire you and wait for next year's head coach, who will probably be an offensive play caller.
The question would be, you had Russell Wilson, and you thought he was going to be that guy. And the question is Dart ready to start, or is Russell was so bad you have to bench him to start Dart? And if it's the last part of it, if it's the following part that Russell was so bad that we feel that we have to start Dart, then I wouldn't play him. Okay. I would play Winston.
I love Jameis. I
would start him and let him play for 4 to 5 weeks. Let Dart sit behind him and learn, because Jameis can be a good teacher for him. Because James, he's at the end of his career. He knows that. And I think at that point, you put him in, and now he can probably say, oh, okay, I see the little things that you're doing. But to throw him to the wolves and to think that you're going to get that bye or that leeway with the owner, you've been a coach for a while now, and then you haven't looked that good since you've been there. And I don't like to talk about coaches getting fired, because I've been fired multiple times. But with that being said, when you bring in a guy like Dart, and normally you think he's going to be the starter right, day one, right? But he wasn't. So you bring in Russell Wilson. He becomes that guy. Well, Russell's at the end of his career, so I thought they should have had Dart start at the very beginning and not even bring in Russell and let him feel the pain from day one. But very similar to Peyton and all the other young quarterbacks who have came in over the recent years. But back when I came in, the young quarterbacks always were backups. They always learn from veterans. Now, coaches got more leeway back in the day, where nowadays guys get fired after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, so they don't have that same leeway. So I would put Jameson in and let Dart sit behind him for a couple more weeks, or if, like you said, if they do have some type of understanding with the ownership to give them a leeway, then do so. But I like seeing the older guys out there helping the younger guys learn.
I'm going to give you 2 names for the head coach of the Giants. Number 1, John Gruden. He's tough enough to go into New York and deal with the media, period.
Yes, he could.
And I'll give you someone else. Lane Kiffin. Follow me here. Already been a head coach. He coached Jaxson Dart in college. Got him to this spot. He is now tough as nails, working under Nick Saban. Been a great head coach. He is perfect to leave Oxford, go to New York, we'll have fun with the media, and he's already coached them. Someone's getting that job.
I like the first one.
You like Gruden?
I like Gruden. Because, listen, I know the stuff that happened. All right, that's water under the bridge to me. John's a really good coach.
Yeah.
And especially offensively, but then also his standard of what he likes from his players. And he's going to run a tight ship, right? So everybody that's going to be in there, he's going to make sure that they're doing a certain way, doing it his way. And that's to me, when you build that culture and you let the players take it on, because he had it when he was in Oakland, right? And then he took it to Tampa, and he had it when he was in Tampa. So I know he can get it done. I like that. Not sure about Kiff. Even though I like Kiff as a coach, I think he has grown quite a bit over the years, and especially since he's been at Oakland. I think he's grown quite a bit. I do like John. I like that idea.
All right, this is what I've been waiting to talk to you about all week when we were texting about this. So sad for Nick Bosa. When you were in the prime of your career, if you went down with an injury like this, I would have said your team's not going to win the Super Bowl because they don't have Rod Woodson. I think the same about him. I think he's going to get a gold jacket eventually, like you have. I can't get my head wrapped around the Niners winning the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship game without Nick Bosa. But I'm probably wrong, right? Because someone else always steps up in this league.
They're 3-0.
Oh, that schedule.
Look, they won who they played against.
If the Ravens had the Niners schedule, the Ravens would be 3-0 and they won every game by 30.
But you only can play against the team that you're scheduled to play. With that being said, I like Kyle. And I think Bosa is one of those keys to your team that you always want your best players. But in 95, I was with the Steelers. I got hurt the third play of the first game. And then we moved Carnell Lake out to corner. I was blessed enough to have Bill Cowher as the head coach, and he didn't put me down on he didn't put me on IR, because if I went on IR then, I couldn't come back off of it and never play.
Yeah.
So he left me on the active roster. We played with 52 guys the whole year. So, you want your best players out there, but they still can win. They still can win without them. They have enough talent, and Ayuk still got to come back. Jennings, they're still banged up. They don't even have all their weapons yet, right? Kittle, everybody kind of banged up over there. So they're going to get healthy, and then Purdy's going to come back, and you're going to have a healthier team. Now you don't have Bosa on the other side, but with that being said, you have the guys getting healthy, and that's the same thing, kind of similar to what happened to the Ravens last year. At the beginning of the year, guys got banged up and beat up, and then they got healthier and healthier, and then they got really good at the end of the season. And they're playing good right now. They're 3-0. And if they get better, because they're getting healthier, and you're getting guys back, it could be a scary team.
You didn't answer my question. Can you win the NFC Championship game on the road in Detroit without Nick Bosa?
Yes. I think you can. I think you can, especially if you get Jennings, Ayuk, Kittle, all those guys are healthy and still playing. Now, if Bosa comes back and then two of those guys get hurt, well, that's a wash. But if they get healthy, they come back and play, and they're going on the road in a hostile environment, and you got Purdy with all his weapons, and you got two good running backs now.
Yeah.
Right? You got McCaffrey and Robinson. You got some players on that side of the ball. So I like, and you got one of the best offensive minds in the National Football League in Kyle Shanahan.
That is a cold weather running back tandem if they're healthy. You can run those guys in the snow. When we come back on Lay in the Wood, CeeDee Lamb's out. Micah Parsons is coming to Dallas. We'll get Rod's opinion on that game. And I'm going to ask you why you were never a Cowboy. Stay tuned. More of Lay in the Wood. Welcome back to Lay in the Wood. JT with the Hall of Famer Rod Woodson. So CeeDee Lamb's out for the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons comes to town with the Packers. First off, how did the Packers lose to the Browns? My Super Bowl pick to get there from the NFC. They were cruising along, had the Browns on the schedule. Yeah. I'm surprised the Browns won this game. How'd they do it?
The defense.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that defense is a lot better than what people think they are, because they are playing lights out football to this point. And if you look at Green Bay's winning 10-0 with like 8 minutes to go in the game, and they lose. I mean, the blocked field goal.
Yeah, that happened a lot last week.
And all Cleveland did was make a couple plays in the fourth quarter. A couple run plays. Joe Flacco hit a couple guys down the field, and they didn't turn the ball over. And they put that pressure again. They had the same game plan that they had against Lamar Jackson 2 weeks ago. They had against Love, and Love struggled. This defense for the Cleveland Browns is a really good defense, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on a lot of teams that they're going to play against. And if they can just get a little offense, that'll be a scary team to face.
They're not going to give Micah Parsons a tribute. But now in the NBA, wait a second, NBA player leaves, you come back before the game, video, Luke is making shots, Luke, hey, he's coming back. Micah was loved in Dallas, not playmaker Michael Irvin, Emmett, but loved. And Jerry's like, no way. Jerry doesn't want to have that in his building. He'll tip his cap to him. He says it's not personal.
I get it for Jerry. I mean, he's been there for several years. Now if he was there 14 years, 15 years, like Emmitt Smith or somebody like that, or Troy Aikman, and then he left and came back, then I get it. But not
a couple of years.
Not a couple years, then you leave for a couple weeks, and then you come back for your first game against us. Why? Like, I mean, you're making enough money that you can give your own self a tribute. like you got enough cash that you're going to do fine.
Speaking of that, how were you never a Cowboy? Now, first, Jerry Jones, like Al Davis, loved your play. It spoke for yourself. How did you not get to Dallas with Jerry Jones and his ego throughout your career?
Well, remember when I was playing, we didn't have free agency at first. So we had the Plan B free agency.
Right.
So I was up after my first 4 years. I had Marvin Demoff as my agent. We did talk to the Cowboys. We did talk to the 49ers. But they got to give up something back in the day. They have to give something up. And at the end of the day, they decided not to pull the trigger and take away one of the Steelers' best players. Obviously, 5 years removed from that, I become free agent again, and then I do go to the 49ers for a year with Eddie D. That last year that Eddie D was the owner of the 49ers. But I was close. We talked to him. I don't know if I would have fit in with the Cowboys. I know I really enjoyed Eddie D and the 49ers.
Tell me more about that. His reputation before you got there was pretty big, with players getting these trips to Hawaii. You win the Super Bowl, not only a ring, but added value. I mean, he had a great reputation of being generous.
As soon as I signed with the 49ers, I remember him saying, "You're a part of the family." And I'm like, and he was dead serious. He sent flowers and stuff to my wife. I mean, all in. I mean, just like he knew all my kids. I mean, it just made you feel like, oh, I like this. I mean, the Rooneys were great people. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed them. They knew my family and everything too. But Eddie D just like made you feel a part of it. And, for me, seeing him not being the owner in the league, and the Yorks took over because all that stuff that happened, was a little disappointing. But Eddie D was if he's not the coolest owner that ever owned a team in the National Football League, he's one of the top two.
I want to take you through Tampa Bay's schedule so far, and you say you played the teams in front of you. They beat Atlanta 23-20, dramatic ending. They beat Houston 20-19, dramatic,
right.
And even more dramatic, the Jet game where, Aaron Glenn is going down the sidelines like he won the game, and Baker, boom, 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 and they win. So Baker's 3-0. They won a game by 2, by 1, and 3. How serious should we be taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I think they're battle tested.
Okay.
I do like Baker. I like gritty, tough quarterbacks that can get hit, talk a little trash, get up, wipe it off, and go back down the field. Is he perfect? No. but I do like him. I like Todd Bowles' team in general because when you look at Tampa, obviously they play in the NFC South, which is not the best division in football, right? It's kind of like the AFC South. So you always figure out, like, okay, which division is he playing in? Who are they playing? At the end of the day, you play who you play. And you can get galvanized as you're winning and have more confidence and going through it. But what you do like about Baker is that he has a short memory. He's like a goldfish. He remembers the stuff that he did wrong, but he doesn't let it bother him. And that's what I really like about him, that grittiness, that toughness, and he's never afraid to pull it down and run with it or throw it in a tight window. And obviously he doesn't have Evans.
He's out 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring.
I didn't know he was that fast anymore because he is older. He's an older player. So normally when you're really fast, that's when you have a hamstring pull, or when you get older, you have a hamstring pull. But hopefully he can get better if he gets healthier. They still got Baker. They still got a nice running game. They still got a solid defense. Dean had a pick six on the sideline. So I like their team because I like their quarterback the most.
Listen to their schedule coming up without Evans. Philadelphia. At Seattle. San Francisco. At Detroit. Next 4 games.
It might be 3. It might be 3 and 4. I think they're going to win one of those, though.
They'll win one of them.
They're going to win one of those. They're going to win one of those.
No doubt about it. Let's move on here. We talked about the health crisis overall. I want to look ahead, and I want to start with the game you're going to, the international game in Dublin. This Viking story is interesting with me because Carson Wentz can play. He was on pace to be the MVP the year they won the Super Bowl. Was Nick Foles with the Philly special. What have you seen so far from them? You'll be at the game. I'm big on Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers got to this point in his career to do something special. His final year, they're 2-1. They're knocking down wins. But God, Rod, that Minnesota performance on defense.
The defense.
Tell me about their defense.
Their defense. You like what you're seeing. A lot of different looks, a lot of exotic looks that you had with the Dean Peeves of the world, the Dick LeBeaus of the world. They got a really good defense coordinator. I mean, when you look at how they have played week in and week out, they've gotten better. And then Carson Wentz coming in, love JJ having an opportunity. He played well for maybe a little bit over a quarter and a half, to get in since when he got back this first year really playing. But Carson Wentz can play. And can he be that same galvanizing guy that Sam Darnold was? And if he is, this is a good football team again.
So you don't bring back J.J. McCarthy if Wentz is playing well?
If Wentz is balling, and I'm talking about he's slinging it like Sam Darnold was the next 2 weeks, how do you pull him out of that? Because I get where they're saying J.J.'s our future, but I don't get it because you don't know what you're going to get with J.J. He still has to show you.
Yeah, he has to.
And the time that he has played, he played a good quarter and a half. Is that enough?
No, it's not enough. It's a quarter and a half.
A quarter and a half. So if Wentz becomes that guy, if Wentz comes out there and lights it up again against the Steelers, because the Steelers defense is, they've given up 28.7 points a game, almost 29 points a game. Aaron Rodgers is playing well. The offense is playing well. But that defense, so if Wentz comes out there and lights up the defense again and then does it again the following week, you have to have a powwow with a coaching staff and the ownership and say, hey, do we bring JJ back or do we keep Wentz in there? So, I would keep Wentz in there because I know what he has done in the past and what he can do. He's not afraid to be under the lights. Young players, you just don't know what you're getting with those guys.
When we come back, I got an upset for you. We'll also get Rod's opinion on the Colts at the Rams. Who had the Colts 3-0 going into L.A., taking on Matthew Stafford, who had a win in the bank in Philadelphia, but they came up short. More of Lay in the Wood. Hey, please subscribe and like it and share with your friends. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Lay in the Wood with Rod Woodson, the Hall of Famer. I'm JT. We're going to wrap it up here. I like the Jaguars over the 49ers. Here's why. The Jaguars had to get the Texans out of their head. The Texans are 0-3. They've been winning that division by default. Very good with C.J. Stroud. I just think Trevor Lawrence needed that game. I don't think it's tough to play in Santa Clara. It's not a weather game. Jacksonville plays in the heat.
Right.
Jacksonville's healthy. The Niners are not. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars here. If they win, they go to 3-1. And depending on what the Texans do, they can start really taking over that division. Texans are an 0-3 team.
Yeah.
We've been really good. They're in trouble. I mean, we have the stats here about starting off 0-3 since 1990. 14% of teams that started off 0-3, Rod, make the playoffs here. So 0-3 is real tricky, and 1-3 is real tricky too.
Yeah, but you think the Jags beat the 49ers?
Yeah, I do. In this spot. This is a different spot. You started off earlier saying when they get healthy, when Ayuk comes back, when Kittle comes back. They're not back.
They're not back.
So I like that. But you wanted to get to the game, Ravens and Chiefs, and you'll be in Dublin for this one, but I know you'll be watching. The loser of this game is 1-3, and they're pinned up against the wall in two good divisions.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's looking at Philly, Tampa, because they're both 3-0.
Yeah.
But if you're really looking at the big picture where everybody's thinking about Kansas City every single year, what they've done throughout the last 6 years, and everybody's saying the Ravens are the best roster in football. I said it. And they're 1-3. And so, I mean, it's like, or they're 1-2. Whoever loses this game is 1-3. They have a 14% chance of making the postseason because of that if they lose. For the Ravens, they got to go out there knowing that Spags is going to put 8 in the box. He's going to stop the run. He's going to make Lamar throw the football. And can you do it consistently for 4 quarters? And that's one thing that they haven't done consistently this year. Late in the fourth quarter, somewhere along the line, I don't know what it is with them. It kind of falls apart. Defensively, they play halfway decent, and then in the fourth quarter, they kind of fall apart. They got to go out into this hostile environment to Kansas City. Everybody's going, red everywhere. You know, they're going to probably eat a bunch of barbecue the night before, right? Because it's good barbecue in Kansas City. Can you beat those guys? Because if you don't, the likelihood of you going to the postseason is going to diminish. Now, the only great thing about whoever loses, man, you still got 13 games left.
And you still got the wild card. That's the point I wanted to make. Kansas City, if they lose, I don't think there's any chance they catch the Chargers. None. If Baltimore loses, why can't Baltimore, who's running away from Baltimore? The Steelers?
Right. Yeah.
I think they'll be able to kind of reel them back here, but you make a good point.
They still got to play the Steelers twice.
Yeah. Before you get on the flight, what do you watch? You're Rod Woodson, you're going on a long flight. I mean, this is a long flight. You're going to England, then you're going to Dublin.
11 hours.
What do you got lined up? I mean, what do you like to watch? What type of movies?
I'm going to finish my terminal list, The Dark Wolf.
Love it. I'm watching it too.
So I'm going to finish that. I'm going to finish Alien Earth. I'll finish that. That's a really good program.
Okay.
It is a really good program. I'm going to finish that. I'm going to finish Invasion. I think I got 2 episodes to watch on that one. And then the Chief of War, I'm caught up to date with that one. So the terminal list, though, I really like that.
I like that too.
The terminal list.
I'm watching that too. All right, Rod will be back next week. We'll get an update on the Dublin game. We'll see what happens with the Raiders and the Bears. A couple of these really big games we're going to dive into next week. We need you all to please like this episode, share it with people, and please subscribe. You can listen on Spotify. You can watch what we're doing. And thanks for joining us on Lay in the Wood.